YouTube. It's RoseBludAngel, obviously. We got a Marvel Rivals tier list to go through. Gonna go through all, I think, 33 heroes, see why they're bad, see why they're good. Don't have too many thoughts so far. It's only been a couple weeks the game's been out, but hopefully this will give you guys a better look at who you should be using, what your playstyle's like, all that jazz. So,
let's get into it.
Okay. Starting off with Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is gonna go. Not D. We're thinking B. Damage is decent. Has a good ultimate, but another hero is able to revive without their ultimate, so it's not the greatest. He is able to revive multiple people, I think, with his ultimate, but it's still not, I don't think, justifiable. Totally has the chance to get a S level. His damage output is really good, actually. Good support character. But there hasn't been too many great players anyways with him. Usually, don't know about you guys playing the game, but when I run into somebody using him, he's pretty not great. So, yeah, he's going to stay at B for a little bit. I wouldn't be mad if people complain about an A, though, because he is actually a very good character. Next up is Black Panther. I think we're thinking C. I know people might complain about that, but honestly, it's not great. Black Panther's not great. Moveset's pretty basic and lackluster. Not much going on there. Spirit Rend and Spirit Toss are pretty much the same move, except the Spirit Rend you're able to like pounce after. I think kind of something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. His ultimate does damage to multiple enemies, but the damage dealt isn't an insane amount, so he is more of a support damage, if that makes sense. But if he's very good at like sneaking around, that's one thing. He's a very fast character, so I'm sure he will be used in a lot of like competitive and higher, more like, once there's esports for Marvel Rivals, which I'm sure there will be, clearly. Yeah, so I'm sure he'll be used, but right now, as an average player, he is not really going to be your go-to. Next up, we got Black Widow. Black Widow is going to go on the high C. Now, you can fight it for B or A even, honestly, but it's only good if you're sniping. If you're not good at sniping, you're not going to be good with Black Widow. Half of her abilities don't do too much damage, and her ultimate isn't anything special, as you're probably only going to get one or two enemies stuck in it. You're never going to have a whole team get stuck in it, or like just another good support damage, but there is a better sniper that we will get to later. Next up, we got Bruce Banner, /Hulk, / whatever that big Hulk is called. He's going to go A. Now, reason for that, he's a decent tank. He works like D.Va from Overwatch, where if you're in the Hulk phase, you still have a chance to go into the Bruce Banner phase and survive. Now, will you? Probably not, but it's still a good ability to have. He's able to shield teammates, which is a big help, and also has 2 team-up abilities, which is a big help. Like, team-up abilities don't really happen that often, but when you have somebody that can team up with more people, it's the ability to take down flying enemies, which is a huge help right now, because there isn't too many counters to flying enemies right now. So yeah, unless you have a good shot, you're gonna just get annoyed with flying characters. So yeah, that's another great ability from Hulk / Bruce Banner. Okay, next up we got Captain America. We're gonna go with an A. He's a good starter hero. That's the best thing I can say about him. Even though he has quite a few abilities, most of them do multiple enemy attacks, which is very helpful, especially if you're like getting new to the game and stuff like that. He also has a pretty solid ultimate, as it does help teammates out quite a bit. Although it's not the most useful ultimate at times, because you're not going to be running around and on his little happy American trail. Another big thing for being a good starter hero is his shield. If you're playing by yourself, it reflects a lot of not reflects a lot of damage, but it takes a lot of damage, and you can get out of sticky situations pretty good with him. He's he's a good starter hero, I would say. Right, next up we got Cloak and Dagger, which I think they will go, they'll go high A. They are a great hero as it's basically 2-in-1. You get healing, you get damage, and even then, both can heal and both can do damage. So, healing their teammates, obviously. Their ultimate is quite nice, actually, as it is able to kill enemies over a bit of time, which, very good, as long as they're in the range. But it also heals teammates, which is just, oh, so nice. I don't know if there's any other abilities / ultimates that allow you to heal and damage at the exact same time. So very helpful. Quite simple heroes as they don't have too many abilities, but they're one of those heroes that you don't need too many abilities. You can have the few and be perfectly good. The moves they do have, though, help a lot with teammates and themselves. So it's just all around great support and damage characters. Almost said healers, but ignore that. Okay, next up we got Doctor Strange, which the Doctor will go. We'll put the Doctor right here. He's not the greatest choice of tank, but the thing that gets him into the B tier is his shield. His shield is probably the best shield in the game. It is like huge, big, which is very helpful for trying to push enemies off a point or trying to push enemies back away, because you'll have your whole team behind you pretty much, raining fire while they're like, uh-oh. So most of the times they'll run away, sometimes they'll stay there and fight, but yeah, great for pushing enemies away. The downfall he has is the amount of damage he does. It's not an insane amount, and if you also don't have great aim, it's annoying because it's not an instant hit. So it's not a shoot hit, it's a shoot travel hit, and that can be a bit annoying for some players, especially players that are newer to these type of games. They won't really try to figure out the timing that well. Next up is Groot. Groot, I think, deserves put him in the middle of Adam Warlock and Doctor Strange, if we can do that. There we go. Now, could be a great hero, but haven't seen many people use him that much, and they haven't really used him that greatly anyways, or correctly. It's been a bit of a lackluster performance for Groot so far. His ultimate is great for when you're fighting on point, but besides that, it won't do too much. It's a very more like, you're not going to use it that often, and if you do, like I said, it's going to be when they're on point. It's not going to be when it's just one person, unless you really want to beat that person and just solo ult somebody. Being able to place walls, though, is a huge advantage, as you can corner you can corner enemies, or you can cut off ways that they're going to go, so then they will be going the other way, and just watch them. Next up is Hawkeye. Hawkeye is gonna go A. Hawkeye was the other hero I was talking about when I was talking about snipers with Black Widow. If you're good at sniping, it's gonna be great for you. If not, there. But what gets him the bit of an edge, especially up 2 tiers, is his abilities and his ultimate. His ultimate is very helpful if you're unable to really hit your shots as much, because you will see shadows and souls of other people once you use it, and then you can hit those, and that will cause the damage, which is just, like I said, very helpful if you can't really hit your shots. Along with some of his abilities that do damage to multiple enemies, which is just another helpful thing. He's a very good support character, honestly, a damage support character. You're not going to see him in the front lines fighting for his life. You'll see him in the back, hanging out, doing some damage here and there, and just having some nice shots. Not those type of shots, bow and arrow shots. Okay, next up we got Hela. Hela will go. Hela is going to be the first hero in S tier, and I think that's understandable. There's not many downfalls to her. All her abilities are super damage focused, which is just crazy. She has slightly low health, but that's not the end of the world as long as you know how to maneuver good. No, she doesn't one-tap people, but the amount of damage she does do is enough to get very annoyed, and yeah, you're gonna be saying, get the hella, oh, hella, you kidding me, blah, 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 blah. You're not gonna have fun with her if you get a good hella in your game, and out of all these characters right now, in this tier list, hella would be the one to get annoyed with the most, at least for my sake. Okay, now we have Iron Fist. I don't even want to talk about this guy, to be honest. We're going to put him at high A. Not even going to do the little, nope. Don't even get me started with this dude. Don't even get me started. He can somehow keep up with flying heroes, you know, and just kill them within seconds, and just, yeah. So that's enough for me. Next we have Iron Man. Iron Man is gonna go... He'll go right in front of Adam Warlock, I think. Again, with Captain America, is a good starter hero. He's a good getting into the game. Oh, let me see, whatever. What can I do? He can fly around. His shots you don't have to be direct with. You can have, there's a lot of splash damage on them. Even his ultimate is splash damage. It's not even, you don't even have to worry about directly hitting somebody, which is a very big helpful thing for new players. Yeah, it's annoying to fight, but like, it is what it is, you know? You're gonna have people like that. Next is Jeff. Jeff is S. His ultimate is broken. Next up is Loki. Almost said Son of Thor. That is not correct. Loki's gonna go in between Black Panther and Black Widow, unfortunately. He lacks a lot of damage and is quite easy to kill. He does have good qualities like his ultimate, which allows you to take over a certain hero that you want. It has to be in the lobby, though. It can't just be any of the 30 plus heroes. It can only be ones that are either on your team or the enemy team. And his regeneration circle is quite helpful, as you are pretty much not going to die until it's broken. So that's another plus that didn't really drag him down to D, but if he didn't have his ultimate being what it is and his regeneration circle, he'd probably be a D, unfortunately. He just lacks a lot of damage. He is a support character, but then even then, when you see Loki playing, his support is not great. He does have his projections of himself, but those honestly don't do much, and they're pretty obvious to like who they are. Yes, it helps to switch to people for Loki, the actual like playing as him, but going against it, it's not too hard to deal with. And next up is Luna Snow. Luna Snow we're gonna put at, we're gonna put right in front of Captain America and Hulk. Quite a good healer, as most of her abilities include either healing or damage, or in some cases healing two teammates, which is obviously very helpful, as you don't have to worry about going switching. You can just do the one ability and it will heal both of them. And her damage output is actually not horrible. You just need to know how to use her, obviously. She's a bit of a low health character, but her abilities all around and her ultimate all around are quite decent. Not enough for an S tier, but middle of the road A, pretty good. Next up we got Magic. Is that how you say her name? I don't know. That K throws me off, but yeah. I don't even want to talk about her like I talked about Iron Fist. But she's gonna go right behind Iron Fist. Honestly, this sword lady can get out of here. Is able to just shield when damaging people. Like, what? Okay, so you're telling me if I even damage her, she doesn't matter, she's gonna get shielded or healed anyways. Great. Her ultimate just makes her even more powerful, which she didn't need. I'd still tap though, but like, whatever. Her other abilities aren't all that special, as they're just a mix and mash of her other abilities. So like, one ability and another ability mixed into one or another ability. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much too crazy for her. But her little demon friends can f off. I'm not having them anymore. They can. Okay, next up we got Magneto. Magneto, cool character, fun character. He's going to go. Let's see. He's gonna go right behind Cloak and Dagger. Now, Magneto's basically just a shield machine for him and his teammates. Almost all of his abilities are just shielding. He only has, I think, 2 damage abilities, but the damage is quite good, actually. His damage output is good. And his ability, not his ability, but his ultimate, I should say, is a one-tap. So it's not super fun to go against, but it's super fun to use. So yeah, that's why he is an A. It's not too bad. Next up is Mantis. Mantis, I think we're going to go with a just in front of Loki, but behind Black Widow C. Actually, no, she'll be high C. She'll be high C. She's just a very boring character, from what I've seen of her so far and used of her. Her regular attack is decent, but her abilities really make you stay in the back line of the fights, not really doing much. Now, if that's the type of support you want to be, Mantis is for you. But just personal opinions, I find her to be a bit useless, because that's just not how I play, and that's just not how I think you should play these type of games especially. I think with Marvel Rivals, the healer needs to be in there with the mix as well, and there's a healer for that we'll get to. Next up is Moon Knight. Moon Knight, yeah, he's just, no. Put him in between Jeff and Hela. I find Moon Knight to be possibly one of the best damage characters damage heroes in the game. He, if you know how to use him right, he's great. He's very sneaky and deals an insane amount of damage, especially with his, what is it called? His Ancient Ankh. That's probably saying that completely wrong, but just correct me if you want. Don't correct me, it doesn't matter. You guys probably don't even know how to say it. Anyways, that ability where he throws down the symbol and it creates a circle around, and you're able to just shoot at that symbol and just rain hell, which is just, it's great, and it annoys the heck out of people that you play against. Ultimate is a bit underwhelming, as enemies can just run away from it pretty fast, but it is good for trying to stir them another way. Steer, sorry, okay, my bad. But there is the odd time it works, and it will just do a lot of damage, and then it will help your team push in, especially if it's a point/objective that you want them to get off of. It's a very helpful one. Okay, next up is Namor. Now, Namor is an interesting one. Don't see too many people playing him. When you do, they're either really good or really bad. So that's why he's going to be on the high end of C. Could have been a B character, but just another lackluster hero that doesn't have too much going on, unfortunately. He's a good support damage character, so good at doing some damage from behind, and he has a few abilities that can help with damage, but it's not even him, it's his little octopus guy or whatever, or like his ultimate. His ultimate's pretty good, but it's pretty much just a all-in-one Moon Knight, so all the damage comes down at one, and then there's no other raining fire, or, well, Namor doesn't use fire, but you know what I mean. The problem with him is that if you're in a 1v1, you're almost guaranteed gonna die. He's just not good at 1v1ing. He's not good, just not good. We got Penny Parker. I think we're gonna put her at a B, I think. Yeah. B in the middle of B. Now, some might say, oh, great character right there. Come on, what are you talking about? They're a decent support. I think she has 2 abilities that do damage. The other ones just spawn spiders or spawn little, like, robotic creatures that will go and do damage for you. So there isn't much going on with her, actually, besides those things. So if you really don't want to be bored playing, then don't use her overly. Ultimate is very good, actually. It's another one of those ultimates that you can get people off point and, you know, take the point for yourself. Or if you're defending, get a little regrouping going. But yeah, she's a little underwhelming, honestly, I would say. And next up is Psylocke. Psylocke is an interesting character. Saw a few people playing her earlier on in the release of the game, but not too much anymore. She'll be high B. Not too many abilities does she have, but if you use them correctly, they can be deadly. Her ultimate is pretty much a 2/3 tap, depending on the health. If it's like a Hulk or a Venom, okay, maybe a few more. But if it's like a Moon Knight, Mantis, it's going to be like a 2-tap, which is just, it's not fun to deal with. Now, there are some that can do 1-tap, and that's why those people are above her. Her wing shurikens, why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong? Shurikens, whatever, which allows you to gain health / shield, is a very good ability as well. It's super helpful, and that mixed with her ultimate is just cracked. Will probably win almost any 1v1 fight. And there's another hero like that we will talk about a little bit later. Okay, next up is the Punisher. Punisher is gonna probably be a behind Black Widow C. The Punisher is gonna be the person that, if you're coming from an FPS game, you're gonna use him probably. He has an AR, a shotgun. Now it is third person, but you know, he has a turret, which is like, get out of here, just go, whatever, like, go after yourself, you know. He's able to get killed pretty quickly, which is a not great thing. I think he should have been more of a tank. I think they let him down a bit with that. He's just not the greatest hero, honestly. He is good if you're new to the game and you just need one to do damage with. He's also very annoying, but he's also easily countered, so that's why he is kind of near the bottom. Oh, also, if you sit in the back with the turret using the Punisher, you're a pussy. Okay, now, next up is someone who I said we were going to talk about later. Didn't say his name, but that name is Rocket Raccoon. Gonna put him second C. Not C, S, sorry. S. I know my letters, okay. He's very easy to use, but honestly, one of the greatest heroes. His mix of damage and healing is perfect. I don't think any other healer has a balance this good. Maybe Adam Warlock, but he does lack a lot and a bit harder to use, and he's just not as good. Comparing him to Adam Warlock again is the ultimate 2 ability. Adam Warlock's ultimate is reviving people, whereas Rocket Raccoon just has an ability to res people, which is you know, would you rather waste your ultimate just reviving somebody, or would you rather use one of your side abilities? I'd rather use one of my side abilities. That's just how it goes. He doesn't have too many abilities, but he has 2 team up abilities, right? Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. So it's kind of justified that he only has a few abilities, whereas some other fighters, they might only have 4 abilities and 1 team up ability, and it's just like. Next up is someone that I have a lot of fun with fighting. Scarlet Witch. She is going to be a low S. Now, I know there's quite a few in S already, but it's because there is a lot of good characters, and yeah. No need to aim as her, because you know what? Her main damage attack just locks onto people, so don't worry about that. That's great. Oh, and her ultimate, yeah, it just kills everybody. Yeah, just kills everybody in her range, which is I don't like. And her Chthonian Burst, I think it's called, is just another great damage ability. So she has a lot of damage, a lot of damage, which is good, but she's a weak character, so she does have her flaws, kind of. But if you know how to use her, she's definitely an S character. Okay, next up is the web slinger himself, Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a right behind Iron Man B. He's basically just a slightly worse version of Iron Fist. Yeah, now, okay, Iron Fist can't web sling around and stuff, but in the sense of the damage they do and how they kind of move and attack, they're a bit speedy, a bit, you know. The only reason Iron Fist is higher is the damage output. Spider-Man doesn't really have too much going on. His ultimate is very not fun to go against, but you only really see him getting one kill with it, and that's usually because he's solo ulting and he's just not a fun person to go against. Just a very annoying character to use / go against, but if you're good at him, you're gonna make the opposing team probably pretty mad. Next up is the nature lady herself, Squirrel Girl. She is a solid, you know what, high C. Sometimes not having many abilities is a good thing, like I was mentioning earlier, but sometimes it's not, and that's where Squirrel Girl kind of falls. Does a lot of damage, but her abilities aren't the greatest, and even her ultimate isn't anything too special, as you can dodge it pretty easily, and I honestly don't think I've ever seen someone die to it before. So it genuinely might be the worst ultimate in the game. Her damage output is decent though, so that's why she didn't make it straight to D, but yeah, could have been. Now, talking about a good character with not many abilities is Star-Lord. Star-Lord is very good. Very easy to use, but he is good. Honestly, I think I will put him top of A. He's basically a mix of Iron Man and Punisher, which I know kind of sounds a little weird, but he has the flying of Iron Man and the like assault rifle / shooting of the Punisher, which is a bit of an annoying mix. That's why he is where he is at. His blaster barrage is very annoying to go against, and we don't even need to talk about his ultimate. It's just aimbot. Let's just go on to the next character. Next up is Storm. Storm is a solid right behind Spider-Man B. Storm has the potential to be a great hero, but I don't see many of her, and when I do, they're not great, unfortunately. Even when watching videos, not even just playing, just very lackluster, but damage output's really good. Like I said, if people learn how to use her, very good character. I could argue that she is an A character, a hero, but we're going to stick her at B right now because, like I said, a bit of a lackluster character, not much going on there. A good thing about her is she does have the ability to help teammates give either a damage or movement boost. I think it's the weather, let's see here. Weather control, yeah. Give a movement boost or damage boost, which is good. Possibly an A tier, like I said, if it wasn't the lack of abilities and lack of people using her. Okay, next up is the almighty Thor himself. Where does he deserve to go? I think right behind Psylocke. That's a good spot for him right now. Again with the Punisher, very heavy damage focus for Thor. He only has one ability to heal / give shield to himself, which is good. But as a tank, you should be needing to help your teammates as well, which he doesn't really do. He has a lot of damage, but he's also really easy to kill, surprisingly. I think he has around 600 health, which seems like a lot, but if you get 2-3 people shooting at him, he's just going to die. He has no way of defending himself. He's just not a great defensive character. Next up is Venom. 3 left, guys. What are we thinking? Venom is a low S character. He could have been high A, but I will put him there for the sake that there isn't any tanks there yet, and he is probably, out of all the tanks, one of the best ones. Does he have a shield? No, he can't really help teammates that much, but his abilities do make it that much more worth it. Symbiotic resilience is one of the biggest things about him that make him really annoying to go against, as he can just heal himself. It's a pain, because you think you get him, and then boom, shield randomly, and you're like, where did he get that from? His damage output can just also be very high. You'll probably see him third, second, or first with the most amount of damage on your team, or the opposite team. So that's why he is a lower S. You know, he's alright. Next up is a Winter Soldier, and let me tell you, this guy annoys me sometimes. I'm gonna be honest. Has a lot of damage. That's why he's top of A. He's a very high A character, good character. His ultimate might be the most annoying one in the game besides Jeff and Scarlet, which are pretty much just insta-kills. Winter Soldiers, he's just not fun. He's just not fun. He would be an S tier hero if he wasn't so easy to kill. He's pretty easy to kill if you get a few shots off on him. He's not the greatest at maneuvering and getting around, unfortunately. But if you know how to use him correctly, then you'll have a fun time with him, and yeah, you'll do a lot of damage. Last but not least is our man Wolverine. Where does he deserve to go? No D heroes yet. That's unfortunate. You know where he goes? He's going S. I think right behind Hela. I'm trying to hold myself here. But that leap he does is not fun. It's not fun at all. He leaps into you and just rips into you, and then like pretty much leaves you one tap / kills you after he just hits you again because he's so fast. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Anyways, yeah, he's a really good character though. Lots and lots of damage comes from him, and his ability to stay alive after pretty much dying is just a little bit of a piss off. But if you're playing as him, great. Does a lot of damage, won't die after he's supposed to die. He doesn't have too much going on, but like I said, he's a fast, lot of damage outputting character. His ultimate is a bit lackluster, but what can you do? He's definitely an S character. Guys, here, over right there, is your final Marvel Rivals tier list. Hero tier list, I should say. If you guys disagree, let me know in the comments. What do you disagree with? What should be switched? Who should go up? Who should go down? Does someone do not as much damage as I said? Does someone do more damage than I said? Does someone support more? Let me know. It's just my opinion, and that's all it's ever gonna be. Bye.